Guys, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Nope. Got the, every time I open the door, they think they're going for a ride. We're just gonna go check the muscadines today. It is super, watch out, blazing hot. And humid. I just gotta find my tools. Gotta try to remember. I gotta try to remember where my, I left them out here in the field. I'm looking for my snippers, and I left them out in the vineyard. How you guys doing today? Glad y'all stopped by. We're gonna do a quick muscadine update video and just show you what we're doing here at the 1st of July, how the muscadines are growing, and what you guys should be doing this time of year. Well, in this particular vineyard, which is our biggest vineyard, we have 5 rows that were planted a few years back, and they're really doing good. We've had a lot of problem with Japanese beetles. I'll show you guys that here in a minute. That's usually our biggest pest of the growing season. Had a lot of problems with the Japanese beetles this year for the fact I haven't been able to do anything about it. Normally I put a spray down to help control the beetles. We also use traps, but they just don't catch nowhere near the numbers that I would like. But we normally spray. I haven't been able to spray here lately because we get rain we've been getting rain every single day, which I'm not complaining about. I'm not having to water the muscadines, so the rain has been wonderful. But the beetles don't go away because of the rain. They just continue to eat your plants. But the plants have really been doing pretty good. All these rows here are our newer plants, and they're doing pretty good. I always wish they would do better, but they're doing pretty good. I'm getting some good growth out of them. I just need to go back right now and do a little what I call a summer pruning to help keep promoting more growth out of our plants. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, I put this rock and left my clippers up here to remind me where I was at. So what we'll do is just go down this row of Supreme and just to do a little evaluation, see how they're growing. I always bring a pocket full of zip ties just in case I need to zip tie something up. Plant may start sagging, or one of my runner limbs may start growing down, and I lift it back up. And you can come cut all them zip ties off in February. When you prune, your eye will catch them because there's no leaves on there. You could just cut them all back off, and hopefully the plant will have instinctively grabbed hold to the wire. One thing I like to do is just do a little pruning. This particular plant looks like it's doing great. It's at both ends of the wire. It's made it all the way down to here and all the way down to that one. So this one looks good. What I normally do is just come back and just do a little pruning just to catch these lower limbs that may get caught with my lawnmower. This one actually doesn't look like it needs any pruning whatsoever, except for right here. I always try to stop them. If I can get a chance, I stop them once they get to the wire, because this one will just keep growing and keep growing and keep growing, and we want it to stop right here. We'll get rid of that. This one is quite disappointing. It's doing okay. It's doing okay, but I want them, they should be at both ends by now, and it's driving me crazy. My theory is just some plants are better than others. Some may, this patch of soil may be better than this patch of soil. It's just all these different things, all these different possibilities you could be dealing with. But this plant, for some reason, is not doing quite as well. But one way we help to promote growth on this plant is to do some pruning. And I'll show you what we do here. For some reason, she wants to stay right up under me everywhere I go. She loves daddy. What we've seen is this is our main runner here. It is starting to sag. It looks like either deer or Japanese beetles have came. That looks like deer have came and eaten the leaves off of it. And the very tip has stopped growing. it doesn't have a little leaf coming out the top that should show growth, like say for instance this one. See how that vine looks like it just wants to continue to keep growing. So we may what I like to do is find the closest, which is here, and it runs all the way out to here. I will actually leave that, because if this one doesn't continue to grow, I can let this one be a runner. So what I'll do is I'll come, I know this sounds confusing, I'll come cut some of these out, and it's hard to really tell with the camera, but I will keep this one, so if it may need to be a runner down the road, we can keep it as a runner, because this one may not grow again. It may stop for the fact something has eaten the tip. So I can go and cut that limb out, but I'm not going to. But what I want to do is all these long shoots, I want to come and cut them out. Come and cut them out. Mia, you're all right up under me. See, here's a long one that's trying to run, a couple of long ones. I'll come and trim these back. And what that does, it stops the growth on those vines, and it continues to push the growth out on this vine, which we're dealing with the same thing on this one. See how it looks something like something has come and eaten the tip out of that? It looks like it's trying to put back on, so it may take back off. I'm going to leave it alone. But these Japanese beetles are notorious for eating out the tips of your plants and stopping the growth. And I haven't been able to do anything about them because of the weather. And then next, we always check our trunk. We always check our trunk. We want a clean trunk from the ground up. We always want a clean trunk. All right, I'll show you guys a prime example of where I get this theory that some plants are just better than others. This is just a theory of mine, because when I planted this many plants, I just see it. I feel like I see that some plants are better than others. When they're producing these plants at the growers, they go in and cut out. They come in and cut out a limb and stick it in the dirt, keep it wet. It produces roots. They sell the plant. And I noticed on my plants that you'll see some that the vines stay really, really short. Then you'll have some that just hit the ground and run all through the vineyard. They just take off. And I just think that some vines are just better than others. And it's luck of the draw what you buy. I think next year, the ones I replace this year, because I have a few I have to replace that just not wanting to grow. They've been out here 2 years. I'm going to pull them and I want to put some better plants in. And I'll show you where I get this theory at. Here's one plant. I planted this at the exact same time. I'm getting eat up out here. I planted this at the exact same time as I planted this one. And it's right next to it. And it has reached both sides of the wire, both ends of the wire. It's super full and loaded with grapes. Just loaded with grapes. It's just absolutely got grapes everywhere. And that's why I say it. I just have this theory that some are better than others. Here's our big pest, the Japanese beetle. Well, there's one there. They just flew off. I had them in my hand, but I was watching the camera. But their Japanese beetles are just everywhere. And you can see the clouds building up. It won't be but a few more minutes and the rain should be coming. And they've been coming every day, every single day, which I love. The ground's been staying good and moist, but you got to battle these beetles. Here's a bunch of them here. See those guys? They're everywhere. I just try to grab them and give them a good smush. All right, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna try to do some pruning real quick and before the rains come. I mean, look at this one. Grapes, growth, it's full, just an absolute beautiful plant, except, let's see, clean off the trunk. Yeah, baby, I know it's hot. I'm trying to make a video. Y'all go find some shade. We just need to clean off the trunk, make a nice pretty clean shrunk. Cut that one out because it'll hit the ground pretty soon. But just a nice, full, beautiful muscadine vine. And then you got this one here. It looks like it's trying. It's doing pretty good. We still got a long growing season. I'll come and prune it up. And what cutting these tips off does, it helps push all that growth out the vine. I'm not trying to just decimate my plant, but just trim some of the growth back to help push that growth out, because the roots are still, every one of those vines, they're just going to keep trying to push them out, push them out, push them out. I want to stop that and force that energy out the wire, down the wire. And then next year, when they hit that 3-year-old cycle, we'll let them take off and do whatever they want to do. Beautiful. Almost. It's almost there. Here's one, like I said, sometimes the runners will run down to the bottom wire and end up way down here. Now you can take and try to pull these little tendrils off that grab a hold to the wire. You can pull those off and try to unwrap it if you like. Some of them I just pop off. But, don't break your vine. But your goal is to get it back off this bottom wire. Bring it back to the top wire. Get out your zip strap. And just zip strap it to your wire. Not tight, but you'll notice it this winter when you go to prune it this February, and you'll cut them off. Now if you want to take and try to wrap those tendrils back around the wire and sort of let it do its own natural grabbing, you can do that. Perfect. Now that'll be my runner all the way down the wire. All right, let's go. We're going to take a break. It is scorching hot. Any other time, them dogs would go lay in the shade. They do it every time. They'll come out here, hang out with me for a minute, and go hit the shade. For some reason, they'll want to be all up under me. Every time I take a step, they're right at my feet. And it's super hot. Of course, Odin is black as night, and I know they're long-haired German Shepherds, so I know they're not taking to this heat. I'm going to go put them in the backyard. We'll come back and finish this up. Well, guys, I hope that wasn't, I hope I didn't over-explain it or under-explain it. I hope you guys understand the things I'm trying to do out here. I have a kind of a difficult time trying to explain it, but basically I'm just doing a summer pruning, trying to persuade my plants to make it 10 feet each direction by pruning the tips off the vines, stopping that growth, and pushing that energy out the wire. Super simple. Keep keep your trunk clean. You don't want any growth on your trunk. That's when you hear people say, I got muscadines, but they're just all over the place. They didn't know to keep the trunk clean. Keep your trunk clean. You want to focus on where your grapes are going to grow, right here on the wire. Super easy. If you guys have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. But I wanted to show you guys what I was talking about earlier, how it seems like just some of the vines grow better than others. And I'll show you right here, it's a prime example. See how this vine just breaks out and it just takes off and takes off and takes off. Something about that vine. I'm not a scientist by no means, but it's just my theory that some of the vines grow stronger. Look at the thickness on this vine. It just takes off. And it seems like one of these, if you propagated it, if you cut it, stripped them leaves, cut it, put it in soil, and kept it watered, that joker would take off like a rocket ship the next year. Once it established some roots, it just seems like it was, because some I buy are just little small ones. They're real small. And I think, dang, they have watered that all spring, all summer, and that was, it just didn't do anything. It didn't seem like it did anything. And then when I put them in the rows and I fertilize them like crazy, water them like crazy, keep my weeds under control, they still don't do anything. Here, I'll show you a prime example. Here's one right here. This thing has been on its second year out here, and it should be like those. It should be like those, but look, it's right beside it. That's it. So I'm on the fence about pulling this, I don't know if I will or not. We still got a long growing season. We got to the end of September before they start hardening off. But I may need to turn that and run it that way. But it just, I mean, look at the difference down there to those two, and right here beside it, this one. It just seems like certain plants grow better than other plants. And I just noticed that from growing so many, being out here all the time. I'm always out here, and you just see the ones that want to grow and the ones that don't. And so next year I will be very, very particular at the ones I buy next year to replace the ones that are not growing. I want to see some that are just big and look like they want to really, really grow. But anyway, before the rain gets here, I want to show you the big vines and show you what we're doing to them. The larger vines, what we're doing to them in the summertime. All right, here's a row of Black Beauty. Here's a row of Supreme, a row of Ison, another row of Supreme, and a small row of Supreme. I had a little room to add 3 more plants. Let's see, how many plants was that? 1, 2, yeah, 3 more plants. So I went ahead and took it. And I'm glad, because I love the Supreme, and they are loaded. They are loaded. Let's get up under here. Look at that. They're really, really, really looking good. Lots of heavy, heavy grapes. I cannot wait. They're really looking fantastic. Let me see if I can. The whole row's full. I'm just trying to get the camera in there. I can't see with all the shade, but I'm hoping y'all are seeing that. Lots of grapes here. Lots of grapes here. We have just lots and lots of grapes. I know there's a leaf in the way. But lots of grapes on every single row. Look at this. Look right here, just one branch. These are hanging all the way down. Just crazy. Lots and lots of grapes. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is why Ison is my favorite grape. That is my absolute favorite grape. When they grow heavy, and they put on absolute tons and tons of grapes. From here all the way down there will be a solid cluster all the way, and that's why I like them. You don't have to go far to pick a bucket of grapes. They are just, Ison is the best variety there is, and you've heard it from Kinfolk Farm. Ison is the best variety. When anybody asks what's my favorite, that's what I tell them every time. Ison. Ison, Ison, Ison. They're just beautiful. They're real hardy. They're self-pollinators, so they help pollinate the rest. I got them scattered every few rows. Every few rows I have a row of Ison, just to make sure I do some cross-pollinating. Just to make sure. There's a row of Ison there. There's a row of Ison right there in between these Black Beauties. You should have them every 50 feet. No further than 50 feet to get a good pollination. But I'm dreading this, but let me show you why I prune. All right, summertime, when we run our lawnmowers up and down through here, I normally spray for these weeds, but now they've gotten so long, I'm scared to spray. I'm afraid I'm gonna hit my plants, so I stop spraying right about now. And I'll just go through and cut some of this about knee high, all the way down through here, about knee high, just so my lawnmower doesn't catch the plant and rip them down. I've had that happen, and it is quite a bummer. Look at all these Japanese beetles. There's 3 of them. I sit out here and squish them all day. But there's another one. Gotcha. But anyway, that's what I do. I go down one row, come back down the other side, and I just go up and down one row at a time and cut them off about knee high. It's bad on your back. It's hot. But it's that, or hit them with your lawnmower. And you'll see as you go down through there, because I haven't sprayed anything in these rows, so you need to get in there kind of tight with your lawnmower, and you'll just grab those vines and rip them down, and it's really a pain in the butt. So it doesn't hurt your plants whatsoever to go down and give them a nice little summer pruning, pretty up your rows. It's not that bad. If you can find it on a cooler day, it'd make it a lot better. But see, this one right here, I think I've already done this one. Check this row out. This little short row, I've already done it, and I was able to spray these 2, and you can see how I actually cut this one, but I didn't get time to cut this one because I'm always doing things. It's been a lot of big stuff here lately, But I'm back on the muscadines, but I need to go down here and start this row and start pruning up and down through here. This one has been done. It really looks nice. All right, one last thing about our Japanese beetles is once your plants get really, really big, it's not that much of a bother. It's the younger plants, because they eat off the tip of the vine. They make it really, really difficult to get your vines grown out. But once they reach this stage, your plants are pretty good. They're okay. They can take the beetles, but I still spray them occasionally. Not when it's close to grape time, but before that, as the grapes are just coming on, I like to give them a good shot of. I use Liquid 7, so if anybody asks, and I started a new stuff the other day, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of it. But super simple. I'll show you. This is what the Japanese beetles do. They basically just come in and chew on all your leaves, chew on all your leaves of your bigger plants. So it's not. They can really, really take it. Like I say, they can really, really take it. Look at these guys growing all into the ground. See how they're growing all down? But they can really, really take the beetles, and it's not that much of a problem. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out my video. I hope this was informative, and I hope you guys learned something. If you're down here in the south, because these are a southern grape, let me get in the shade. If you're down here in the south and you're interested in growing some grapes, check out Ison's Nursery out here in Brooks, Georgia. They're super wonderful group of people to work with. I have absolutely loved them. I would say 90% of everything growing on my farm came from Ison's Nursery, and they back everything they sell. They're wonderful, family owned business. They're fantastic. All my muscadines come from Ison's. All my blueberries come from Ison's. I have 120 blueberry plants. Not blueberry, blackberry plants. All my blackberries come from Ison's. My elderberries, my fruit salad trees, my blueberries, all my apple trees, my plum trees, everything come from Ison's Nursery. They're awesome. They sell anything fruit, nuts, or berries. Just a little plug for Ison's Nursery. As you can tell, I love them. They're wonderful. And I hope you guys down here in the south want to grow some muscadines. I'm telling you, they're the easiest grape to grow. They're really, really easy to grow. Need a little water, got to keep them watered. Heavy fertilizer. I have a whole playlist on how we grew them. There may be others out there that say, no, you're growing them the wrong way. But I think we do pretty good. So do me a favor, if you did like this video, click that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, leave me a comment in the comment section below. I'm super hot. I'm getting tired. I love you guys to death. Y'all the best. We'll see y'all on the next video.